This ain't for y'all. This is for us. People who have, quote unquote, regular 9-to-5 jobs, maybe went to college, started a career or whatever the case might be. You have a 9-to-5. Are you loving your 9-to-5 or are you living every day waiting for that 5 o'clock time to come, waiting for Friday to come? Are you doing every day what you love to do? And if not, literally what is stopping you, right?
So sit back and relax. That's scary. Melanie P. Talk to him. Scary with Melanie P. That's scary with Melanie P. Come on.
Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Melanie P podcast. I am your girl, Melanie P, and we are here for another episode, y'all. Look, I'm so excited about this episode. I got my little TikTok jumpsuit on, so I'm kind of feeling comfortable today. It's been about 4 days, I feel like, since I dropped an episode. But before we get started, y'all, make sure you stop what you're doing and you hit that subscribe button. For all of my new subscribers, welcome to the family. We are here with new episodes literally every other day, if not every other day. When life isn't lifing, we are here to discuss everything: love, relationships, sex, a little bit of finances, a little bit of the culture, and everything in between. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, because I love to see the conversation in the comment box, y'all. So listen, today is a plethora of discussions, but I'm going to start with why I started this episode today. So I was having a discussion, and let me just backpedal and pussy pop. So we're going to be talking about my most recent episode with Tyomi Morgan. Okay, our resident sexologist, our resident solo poly girl, our resident sexual coordinators on all the big movies. We're going to talk about that episode that I just dropped this week. Part 2 is dropping tomorrow, so make sure that you take a look at that. And we're going to quickly talk about Robyn being fired and I'm not smiling because I'm happy, but Robyn being fired from the Housewives of Potomac, and Candace Dillard announcing her pregnancy, along with Ashanti announcing her pregnancy, y'all. But before I get into that, I was supposed to record this video Monday, and today is Wednesday. And the reason why I wanted to record this video on Monday was because I was having a conversation with some of my coworkers about, it being Sunday, almost Monday. And then when Monday came, we had a conversation about, oh my God, it's only Monday, and oh my God, it's only Tuesday, and when is it going to be 5 o'clock, and when is it Friday? And it made me think about this. Are you living your life waiting for 5 o'clock every day, waiting for Friday? Are you living your life in fear? Now, I'm going to ask that question to you again. I'm going to pose the question to you again. And I really want you, now this ain't for all the people who are, social media influencers who, get paid to just live their dream life. This ain't for y'all. This is for us. People who have, quote unquote, regular 9-to-5 jobs, maybe went to college, started a career or whatever the case might be. You have a 9-to-5, and are you loving your 9-to-5 or are you living every day waiting for that 5 o'clock time to come, waiting for Friday to come? Are you doing every day what you love to do? And if not, literally what is stopping you, right? Living in fear is a concept that I feel like I've struggled with for so many years, right? So several episodes ago, I've spoke briefly about being married one time before, and, getting married out of fear, not really fear of the person, but fear of not wanting to disappoint my family, fear of like being the only girl in my family and, wanting to not disappoint my family, wanting to not disappoint my parents, My parents loving my ex-husband and loving the stable life that he was going to afford me. And even though it might not have been what I wanted to do, because I operated in fear. And again, I was like 22, 23, maybe. And even though I feel like nobody at age 22 or 23 really should be getting married, because I feel like when you're that young, you're literally still kind of learning yourself and you're literally still trying to like grow up. To me, 22 is still a baby. Like I have nieces and nephews who are around that age, and there's no way I would ever encourage them to get married to anybody. But when you speak about operating in fear, okay, maybe at 22, that, may make a little bit more sense because I'm so young and I'm just doing what I think I'm supposed to do. But what happens is, and for me, is that I made a decision based on not because of what I wanted to do in my heart, but based on making those around me happy. And that has been a domino effect of decisions and choices and things that wasn't based on me, but based on fear of disappointing others. And I think about just a conversation between my coworkers and just, hearing the dread in everyone's voice about, oh my God, it's literally just Tuesday. And here's the thing. I mean, I know it's not just my coworkers. I have friends. Like, I think I know out of my entire circle of people, I know 2 people who actually enjoy their job, who actually don't work for 5 o'clock, who actually don't dread Sunday at 5 o'clock, who actually, enjoy what they do and love their job. But 2 people out of every single person that I know liking their job and enjoying their job and feeling like they're working in their passion, that is a horrible statistic. And I feel like so often we live and make choices based on what other people might think, making a safe choice, right? I was talking to Mia, friend of the show, Mia, and I think I said this a little bit. She's going to be on the show soon again. And I was telling her that like one thing that I admire about her is the fact that she will start over. She got 100 lives. And if she is in a space or a situation and she's giving it her all and it doesn't happen to work, then she will start a whole new life with ease. And I feel like that is such an admirable thing to do because you are the few people who don't live in fear of what the outside world is going to think. I remember when I was married and I was really, really unhappy and I really wanted to leave. And I remember, I knew that I wanted to leave, but I kept hearing my parents' voice in my head. And I remember asking one of my siblings, telling them my situation and, saying like, what should I do? Because I feel like a lot of times when maybe you're indecisive and maybe you live like in that kind of fear mind, you're always looking for someone to kind of tell you what to do, even though you know what you should do. And I remember not doing it, like not leaving for a long time before I should have left, if that made sense. Because I was afraid. I did not want to disappoint my parents. I didn't want to disappoint anybody. And I really didn't want anybody to know that I was having a failed marriage, right? And then someone said to me right at the end, they said, you're looking to everyone else to help you make a decision, or you're looking to everyone else who are going to be in your mind judging you. And here's the thing, nobody was probably even thinking about me and what I was doing. Like, people got their own problems. But someone told me that while you're sitting there miserable in a home, crying, depressed every day, the same people that you're worried about disappointing or their opinions, they're living their own lives. The same people who are, quote unquote, giving you advice to stay in a situation that you don't want to be in, while you're unhappy, while you're sad, they're living their own life. So at the end of the day, you cannot operate from a space of fear. But then again, you parallel that to other things in your life, right? You know, we are in an economy where there's a lot of layoffs and, you know, people have families and they have responsibilities and stuff like that. So you have to be strategic, which is my favorite word, it seems like this year. But how many people like have a dream or a passion and they're just afraid to even start? Like I have a friend who wants to start a podcast, and, you know, here I am in my older age starting a podcast, you know what I'm saying? And I was trying to encourage them, hey, just start, just start. Like you have to just start. And, you know, he was telling me, you know, he's waiting to move and he's going to wait for this and wait for that. And I'm like, you are just afraid and you are sitting here miserable at your job. You know what I'm saying? And wanting to do this thing that you're passionate about, but you're just waiting for tomorrow. And the thing that I feel like none of us like really think about is that tomorrow really isn't promised. And so living in fear for what? And that really brings me to Tayomi. Now, I dropped a video with Tayomi Morgan, who, oh my God, y'all, when I tell you, talking to her was like talking to someone that I've known for years. I could totally understand why she would be so good at what she does. I could totally understand why she would be so good at being a coach. And I want to emphasize that because, you know, I am a life coach, you know, whatever, but everywhere you turn, everybody's a life coach. And just because you're a life coach doesn't mean that you've had the training, doesn't mean that, you know, you've been certified or like everywhere you turn, somebody's a life coach, right? But everybody doesn't qualify to be a life coach, right? I fully understand and I fully applaud her in the space of coaching. Not only is she good at coaching from a sexual energy standpoint, but from breath work to Reiki to motivation. Like I was like, girl, your voice needs to be heard, because we had a conversation after the podcast ended that just spoke so much life into me. And it was so funny because she emailed me afterwards and she was like, you know, thank you for this conversation and how much I inspired her. And I'm like, girl, if you only knew, like, you inspired me. Like her just really, it's just something about her energy. It's something about her energy that just, like, I cannot wait to talk to her more. And honestly, if I was on some stalker shit, I'd be in her DMs all the time, girl, asking her for advice. You know, here I go, asking people for advice again. But like talking to her, like, I want to be her friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be her friend. Like, she's the coolest person. And I feel like because she lives a non-traditional lifestyle, I feel like maybe it's that element of like not feeling judged. Like, I feel like people could feel comfortable talking to her and telling her any and everything and not feel like they're being judged. But who was being judged was Tayomi in some of the comments, especially on some of the shorts that I posted. It was so many people calling her a hoe, saying that she's lustful, saying that she's a Jezebel, this, that, and the third. And I was like, people really be up in people's comments just attacking them. You know what I'm saying? And where I might not listen, I don't agree or disagree with her lifestyle, because it ain't got shit really to do with me, right? But what I do agree with is something she said. I don't know if she said this in part one or just me and her in conversation, but she literally said, when I asked her, you know, would there ever be a time where you would want to actually be in a monogamous relationship? And she was like, she kind of hesitated. And then she was like, no, not really. But she said, if she did ever want to be in a monogamous relationship, at least she's had enough experiences in another type of relationship to where she would not feel like she missed out on another experience or another opportunity. Now, I feel like, you know, to certain people, that don't make it any better or whatever. But I can only respect the fact that, you know, everybody getting divorced, everybody miserable in their relationships, and everybody, people who get married young or are married for a long time sometimes feel like, I wonder what I missed out on. And it's not to say that she won't feel like she missed out on things, right? But one of the things that she emphasized on her episode is that she lives life based on experiencing life. Like, she's not trying to live life just going through the 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? Waiting for 5, waiting for Friday. She's not trying to live life like that. She's trying to experience life in every way that she can. And I feel like people just honed in on her her sexual preferences. And I feel like that clouded a lot of the meat that she was saying. And it's like, you cannot pick and choose what you think is right and what you think is wrong. And by that, I mean, people like to throw the Bible and people like to throw Jezebel and oh, read Galatians this. And I'm all for the Bible. God is everything, the source, my energy, my vibe, everything. But if you're going by the Bible literally said he without sin cast the first stone. Nobody on this earth has a heaven or hell that they can put anybody in. And if you are such a Bible thumper or a Christian, one of the main things that God is for is love and not judging others. So it's not giving what you're trying to make it give, because here you are judging this person for who they decide to sleep with or how many people they decide to sleep with. But you don't know what you could learn from this person. Like, people are dimensional. The same way that she might, have several partners and live a polyamorous or a solo poly lifestyle. I could be out here getting drunk, you know what I'm saying, every weekend and drunk driving, which I'm not, or out here abusing my partner or, doing something like that. Like, it's no different. And people are doing that every day. Like, you can't pick and choose which wrongness in your eyes is right or has more weight. You know what I'm saying? But I just have to I have to applaud her for living life the way she wants it, experiencing life the way she chooses to experience life. I just the way that she spoke in that episode, it really should make you think. And I know it really made me think, damn, it's a blessing to live life. It's such a blessing to be here, because some people did not make it. But are you truly experiencing life? And are you truly living life from a non-fearful standpoint? Are there things that you want to do that you're not doing because you're afraid of what it might look like? If you don't know the how, you're afraid of what your friends might think. It's not easy to come up here on YouTube and give my opinions and give my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, a lot of damn stuff comes with that, a lot of judgment. But at the end of the day, I'm mad at myself for operating in fear and, not doing it sooner, because I just thought so much that I needed someone to do it with. So I just, procrastinated. And it's like, okay, girl, I mean, you ain't 20 no more, girl. You gotta do something. You have to live. And here's the thing, people are so fake, and they'll be like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur and I don't, mess with the whole 9 to 5 thing and, do like I did and become this entrepreneur. And everybody is not an entrepreneur. Everybody can't just quit their job and live their dream. That's stupid. You got to be smart. You got to be strategic. But if you have a dream, at least use your job to get closer and closer and closer and closer to your dream. You don't have to choose one lane. You don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in dread. And just to keep it a buck, if you are in a situation where you're constantly waiting for Friday or constantly waiting for 5 o'clock, at least, change your mindset to know, okay, I'm doing this for a reason. This is only temporary because in my off time, I'm doing what I need to do to get me out of this situation. Me personally, I want to podcast full time. I am manifesting being on Fox Soul. I'm manifesting either being on iHeartMedia, being on Sirius Radio, being wherever. It's going to happen for me. But at the end of the day, it's not going to happen for me just wishing and thinking it in my head and moving in fear and saying, oh, well, I'm scared to get on camera, or I'm scared to start, or, I had somebody on my episode that people might not agree with. I don't care. I'm grown. I do what I want to do. And, these are the kind of conversations that we should be having with our children. I understand it. I do not fault my parents for pushing me to get married at a young age, because at the end of the day, my parents are like in their late 70s. So Black, parents at the end of the day, especially from that age range, they, especially for their daughters and for women, to them, making it out without having a baby, from wedlock, getting married, living that stable life, that for them is the lottery for their kids. So I cannot fault them. But what I can do is, for my daughters, try to help them as much as I can to not operate in fear and not make choices based off what other people might think. It was so sick because when I did get separated and divorced from my first husband, I remember I went to TJ Maxx because I did not want to go to my hometown because I was very embarrassed and very ashamed that, my marriage did not work. And I remember when I finally had the balls to go home, I stopped by like TJ Maxx and I got like a fake ring, because the ring that he got me, I think I have it now, but I lost it at the time. And I was so ashamed to go home without my ring on. And here I am with this TJ Maxx $9.99 ring on and lying about my marital status, all because I was, ashamed to be around all these single ass old people, you know what I'm saying? And actually say that my marriage didn't work. And this like perfect cookie cutter life that you thought I had isn't real. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is that we cannot operate and move on fear, and we cannot operate and move on what other people think, because while we are afraid to make a move and afraid to do something because of what we think somebody is thinking about us, or, something along that lines, it's like, they're not worried about us. People ain't even worried about you. And you could be very miserable in a situation and they over there sleeping soundly happy, or they're just as miserable. Nobody's thinking about you. Like, it's not funny, but I had heard someone was saying, I thought today, I was sitting here thinking today, damn, this whole P. Diddy thing, that shit getting quieter and quieter. Like, it's been a week. It started out with this big whole thing. It's everywhere you look, all on YouTube, all on social media. And it's been pretty quiet. It's been pretty quiet about P. Diddy. And that's the same thing. Like, shit, like, you can have a bad episode, or you can have a product that you want to launch, and maybe the first time it launches, or the first YouTube or the first podcast you record, it's not going to sound good. By the end of the day, you have to have that first one. You got to start so you can progress and get better. And it becomes like riding a bike, and now you're perfecting a skill, and now you're moving in your purpose, and now you're feeling like life is worth living. And you know what I'm saying? And you're actually doing something that you want to do while working somewhere to maintain your living and your, your lifestyle. So it made me think, looking at the comments, kind of denigrating Tayomi, and then listening to my coworkers and my friends talk about, just dreading Sunday, dreading Monday, waiting for 5. It just really made me think, like, we can't live like this. We can't live like this. We cannot give all of our energy to something that isn't our passion and then save nothing for ourselves and for our true passion. And I'm really just kind of preaching to myself because, I'm not perfect, and there are things that I'm living in fear of right now. And I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I pride myself at trying to be as transparent as I can, because I feel like my niche of my shows is to help people avoid some of the mistakes that I've made. Because if I don't, like, what's the point? What's the purpose? So I'm not perfect. I'm still evolving. I'm still maturing, and I'm still having to make tough decisions of things that I have going on. But at least I'm aware of it, and at least, I have some wisdom and some maturity, child. So I hope that speaks to somebody. I hope that makes somebody go out and buy that podcast equipment. I hope that makes somebody go out there and start writing your book, start selling that product, start making your candles, start doing whatever, because we ain't got to be living in fear. Like, one thing about me, God has not given me a spirit of fear, honey. I'm not shy. I am me, and I'm that girl. It is what it is. Period. Point blank. All right. Robyn is no longer a housewife on Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, here's the thing. I don't advocate nobody losing their job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially somebody who husband done lost their job. Now you lost your job. And I don't wish nothing bad on nobody. Let me just say that. But at the end of the day, if I go to my job and I'm not performing, they're going to fire me. And Robyn was not performing. On top of not performing, she was literally being a bully. Period, point blank, hard stop, you know? And I literally said in my review of the part 1 reunion, she must know that she's on her way out of here, because she's just saying dumb shit and coming for all the husbands while her husband is not there. So, you had your little, one-liners or final dingers in the reunion, but now you're not on the show. And I'm really curious to see, what that means for Giselle. Robyn should have been gone like 2 seasons ago. That's just my opinion. I think that her and Giselle together, that she's a crutch. They're a crutch for each other. They have bullied women. To me, just to be quite honest, I don't think that they're a good representation of Black women. I just don't. I truly, truly don't. I don't. And the reason why I feel that way is because as a minority, as a female, as a Black woman, if there's ever something that comes up, prime example, I think this might have been on Real Housewives of Atlanta or maybe Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't know. But somebody referred to a Black woman as aggressive. And that was a sore spot when it came to the choice of words. Like, calling Black women aggressive is a sore spot for Black women. Now I never really thought that deep into it, because nobody ever thinks of me as aggressive, I guess. But when that came out, it was a conversation, and the women around, it might have been Garcelle on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but at least I feel like, I hope I'm saying this right, but I think the women at least showed interest in understanding, okay, why is that word offensive? Explain, educate me and help me understand your point of view. Now, not saying that they all agree, but I feel like there was more of a consensus of, help me understand why as a Black woman, you don't like being called aggressive. Now, as Black women on a Black franchise like Real Housewives of Potomac, if you have your Black sisters on your show and you're saying something or doing something that even you don't you may not understand how it is affecting them, but you just know that it is, and it's affecting them in a way to where they feel uncomfortable, or to where they feel judged or treated less than because of the color of their skin. The fact that Robyn and Giselle, to me, made it about them and did not push for the conversation to educate not only themselves, but to use it as an opportunity to educate the masses, because you're on such a large platform. For me, that was a nail in the coffin. For me, that was the total nail in the coffin. I don't have to understand what you mean from saying that you feel like you have been a victim of colorism, or you feel like colorism is at play on this show and amongst this cast of women. I don't have to understand it. But as a Black woman with Black children, with Black friends, a Black audience, I mean, not even a Black audience, but just the world is your audience. This is an opportunity for education, for a conversation, and to help others understand, how Black women are seen, and some of the things that they go through that stems from trauma. Like, damn, I mean, it's not that difficult. to have a conversation. Even if, like Randy say, you don't have the range, y'all are college educated people. Y'all have the range for what you want to have the range for. And I just, for me, that was truly the nail in the coffin. And I feel like they're truly bullies. And, honestly, I don't want nobody to lose their job, but I feel like Giselle needs to go next. I feel like she does not do anything for the cast. She doesn't bring anything to the show except for mess, divisiveness, and, anti-camaraderie, if that's even a thing. So yeah, Robyn, I wish you well. I hope that, you have some time to do some self-reflection on things. Do I think she's going to do that? I really, really don't. I don't think she feels like, and again, oh my God, I don't know how she feels, but if I had to guess, I don't think she feels convicted in any way. I still think that she is giving Karen energy. Her and Giselle still have their podcast, so they're still going to be friends and chum. So yeah, I don't get the sense that there's any level of awareness from Giselle or Robyn. And, Robyn, good luck out there. Now, Candace is having a baby of her own, and I am so happy for her. I saw her recently in an interview, and it doesn't seem like she's showing. So I don't know how far she is, but I'm so excited that she has removed herself, not fired, but removed herself from the Housewives, and she is focusing on, having her baby. And I think that that's the best, most maturest, move for her, because I know that she struggled with conceiving, and I think she's in her late 30s, maybe mid to late 30s, and she already had issues conceiving. So I feel like if she's pregnant, she does not need the stress from the Real Housewives of Potomac to add to the already stress associated with being pregnant, child. So at the end of the day, I'm so excited for her. Another pregnancy person is Ashanti and Nelly. Now, here's the thing. I did a whole video about Ashanti. Well, not a whole video, but I talked about Ashanti and Nelly, and I was saying in my video, I literally was saying in my video that, it was several months ago, Nelly had surprised Ashanti with some type of like necklace or like some type of like chain. And I was like, child, I'm sure Ashanti was thinking that he was getting on his knee to propose, not to give her a chain. And everybody came for me in the comments like y'all do. It was like, everybody don't want to, everybody don't want to get married. Everybody don't want to have kids. Stop projecting onto Ashanti. She's never said she wanted to have kids, whatever. And here we go, fast forward. She's happily pregnant. She's happily engaged, planning her wedding, planning a baby. Like, I'm so happy for her. And he circled the block. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I did think about, what is the lady that he was dating after Ashanti? I really like her. Can't think of her name, but I'll add it on the screen. But that was like, I don't know why, but that was my first thought, because I put myself in her shoes and I imagined if I was dating because Nelly was very much not giving he ever wanted to get married. Like, he was giving that to that last lady, and Chantel Jackson. So Nelly never gave marriage. And I feel like years ago, when his ex-girlfriend Chantel Jackson was on this reality TV show, I feel like the conversation of marriage came up, and he very much gave that's not in the plans, right? And it just goes to show that, number one, some people are just meant to be, and sometimes they got to separate to get back together. Number two, I think Chantel Jackson was with, oh God, Chantel Jackson was with Nelly, I want to say 2013. Let me see. Yeah, from 2015 to 2021, they were together. So that's at least 5 years. She gave this man 5 years of her life. He didn't give her anything, not a baby, not a ring. And now he's married to his ex. So I don't know, you don't want to waste your time with these men. I feel like a man knows I feel like a man knows, and again, I'm not a man, but I feel like, and I feel like I know that I'm for sure that a man knows. A man knows, I would venture to say, a man knows whether or not he want to marry you or be with you within those first 6 months. Maybe not he going to propose in 6 months, but I feel like after 6 months, a man has a good idea of whether or not he sees you as wife material and somebody that he sees a long-term future with. Now, the difference with Nelly is that obviously he is a wealthy man. And, I'm sure Chantel lived a great lifestyle with him. So, I guess it was a win-win. Her name got out there. She was able to start her shoe gummy business. And I just couldn't help to think like, damn, I wonder how she feels seeing her ex not only get back with his ex, but get her pregnant, and now they're engaged all within a year. But here's the thing. I don't even want to put that on Chantel. I don't even want to take over the happiness that I feel for Ashanti and Nelly, but it's just what was in my thoughts, y'all. But I'm very happy for her. I'm very, very happy for her. Lastly, something that is so interesting to me that I feel like I wonder if people are going to resonate with, y'all. I am actually drinking magnesium and water. And if you know, magnesium is something that you drink before bed. Some people drink it during the day if they have like anxiety or need to feel calm. But all the girlies are making this like nighttime cocktail with like tart cherry juice, magnesium, I think like sparkling water or something like that. And it really, 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 really helps you sleep. And here's the blessing of this, right? A couple episodes ago, I had my good friend Charles on the episode, and he was talking about, is this why black women are single? And he said in the episode that he has not had a full night's sleep in maybe over a year. And I'm like, oh my God, like, Charles is my boy. Like he is my good friend, and I'm so blessed to have him as a friend. But when he told me that he wasn't sleeping, I was like, oh my God, that's horrible, because sleeping is is tied into good health. You have to have a good night's rest. You cannot not get sleep and be healthy. So I told him about this magnesium that I drink every night and how it was helping me sleep. And he called me a couple of days ago and said that he finally got the magnesium and he slept 6 hours straight for the first time in he don't even know when. And I was so happy. And it had me thinking, this magnesium shit really worked. Like it really, really puts you to sleep in a very calm, rested way. But I noticed that on this damn magnesium, my dreams be real. And I was telling my friend, I was like, because she drinks it too. And I was like, are you having these really like, is it lucid dreams? Like very just real dreams when you drink your magnesium? And she's like, yeah. And they seem so real. And I was like, I feel like these dreams that we're having are dreams or memories from past lives. I feel like when you are in such a calm, rested, zen, state, in such a deep sleep like that, your body is able to, I don't know, it's just in such a relaxed state that you can have, like, you're just in such a deep sleep that I don't know where your mind is going. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, everywhere you turn, everybody drinking magnesium. And what if there's something in here that they're trying to get us with? But I don't know. This magnesium is really good. You put it in your water. I drink it like right after I shower. And right before I go to bed, I drink this. I normally put it in a bottle of water, and I shake it up, and then I chug it, and then I go to the bathroom, and then I go to bed, and then I have a very deep, great sleep. But those dreams that come with it, I was having dreams like every night. And my dad was there. And I mean, it's just crazy. It is just crazy. But if anybody having any trouble sleeping, I definitely recommend this damn magnesium. But just watch out for the dreams. Go to TikTok and just put in magnesium to sleep, y'all. I think it's also in my Amazon store. I need to put the link in the bottom, but it's also in my Amazon store. But anyway, y'all, I am dropping part 2 with Tayomi Morgan, our resident sexologist, tomorrow. By the time this drops, it'll already probably be dropped. So make sure that you tune in to part 2. I feel like part 2 it really gets into the educational piece of, sexual happiness and awareness and health. And she's such an educated person. I so enjoy the conversation. So make sure that you look into that part 2. I have another video coming out that I'm excited about, talking about men being providers. I'm excited for that video. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, y'all. I will see you guys in the next episode.